I'm Steve Gibson, GRC.com. Today we're going to peer into the depths of Windows user account control to find out what's really going on The Lab with Leo.
Good to see you and welcome to The Lab with Leo. I'm Leo. This is The Lab, and this is the show where we're going to help you get the most out of technology, whether it's a computer, the internet, cell phones, camcorders, home theater, the works. We cover it all on this show, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely in green, Kate Abraham.
Green.
It matches your eyes.
There you go.
Did I get that right? They're green, right? Just had to check. She has the magic clipboard.
I do. Episode 100.
Oh my goodness. What a momentous occasion. Wow, that's exciting. How do you feel?
I can't believe where the time's gone.
It's amazing.
Literally, it has flown.
Most television shows would be happy to have 50 episodes.
Exactly.
We've had 100, and that's just a fraction of what we'll probably
Haven't even started yet.
We'll talk again when we get to 1,000, okay? Yeah. Well, you know, we get the call for help in Canada reached well over 500.
Yes, you did.
And since I started doing this show, if you consider this the continuation, in 1998, I think we've probably done well over 1,000, probably 1,500 shows. So, to me, 100's like, you guys are kids, you're young, you've been here as long as I have. And we're going to talk about Flash video.
Yes, we are.
With Jacob Tran. We're talking about what Flash can do and what it can't do. Victoria Rivet is here. This is exciting. I mean, I'm glad to do this. Tips for women online. You know, women bloggers have apparently different goals, different interests than bloggers in general. She just came back from the Blog Her conference, which is just for women bloggers. You're a blogger.
Yes.
So what would you think a female perspective in a blog is different than a male perspective?
There are certain safety issues that you have to think about.
That's true.
I mean,
only if you're as gorgeous as you are. Most of us don't have to worry about that.
I mean, obviously with things like private, private details, you want to be a little bit careful about that because you don't know kind of who's reading it for what purpose.
No, that's right.
But at the same time, you want to offer as much of yourself as you can because you want to push yourself forward while you're doing it. Otherwise, why would you do it? You know?
Well, that's a very difficult balance. Is how to be personal and real without being, overshare.
Exactly.
So that's a really good point. We'll talk about that with Victoria Rivet. Also, Steve Gibson, our guru of security, is here to talk about UAC. You know what that is?
No idea.
Me neither. No, it's Vista's user access control, and if you've used Vista, you know it's there. We'll talk about what's going on behind the scenes, but more important than anything else, your calls. Let's get some on air.
We have John from Burlington in Ontario.
Excellent.
We tried to get the Skype working, but Skype fell down.
Bad Skype. Hey, John, how are you today?
Very good, Leo. How are you?
I am fantastic. Welcome to The Lab.
Thank you, and congratulations on 100 episodes.
If I had known, I would have had balloons or something. We're going to have a party, so that's tonight. So I think that's woo wee. So I think that's a good thing. But this is a kind of a small way. I'll just put this on my head. So what can I? I don't think that works. What can I do for you?
I'm using Panasonic DVD camcorder with the mini DVDs.
Yes.
And I'm shooting hockey games, and they're running about an hour or so for DVD. And I want to put multiple mini DVDs on a full DVD.
So you want to make like a best of movie or something like that?
Well, no, actually, you
just want to put 2 DVDs on one regular size DVD?
Or at least 2.
Well, what is the limit on you mean a DVD that will play in a DVD player?
Yeah.
I think the limit is 2 hours, yeah? I don't know what the... 8?
It's just pure...
Gibson makes his own DVDs. I should really ask Steve. Do you have a mic there? Give him a mic. I thought that was a limit of the specification.
No, it's purely a function of compression rate. And so if you compress the MPEG to video down further, you can, I've put full seasons of TV programs on a single...
And this will play in a regular DVD player?
Absolutely.
But the image quality goes way down.
Well, no. I think in fact, we're so used to a 2-hour just crystal clear movie on a DVD. You can get 8 hours on a DVD, and it still looks really nice.
Right.
I mean, it looks fine.
Well, there you go, John. So it's really an issue of compression. And any DVD authoring software, Nero or Roxio, will let you set that compression level higher. What do you use to burn your DVDs? Steve makes a lot of homemade DVDs, I should point out.
The original tool from Pegasus Inc., you know, TMPG ENC.
Tsunami MPEG encoder.
In fact, they've really advanced that forward now. They have a DVD authoring tool. They've got the compression tool.
Really?
They'll even take flash video in and convert it, and just about any input format to a video CD or a DVD. But their little authoring tool really works nicely too. I just really like their stuff.
So the free one is at tmpgenc.net, but the one you're talking about is the commercial one. It's from Pegasus-Inc.com.
Exactly. I think yes, exactly. Or /sys, Pegasus Sys, I think. It is. Or is it Inc?
This is .inc.
Pegasus.
P-E-G-A-S-Y-S.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
.inc. Yeah. So you're recommending their but by the way, the T is Tsunami,
yep.
MPG is MPEG, and ENC is encode. So that's how you remember this acronym, Tsunami MPEG encoder, or TMPG ENC, and this is the one you're recommending.
It's a great tool.
All right, so that'll re-encode it, and then you use any authoring program, including theirs, to burn the DVDs.
And like multi-core, if you got a multi-core system, I have a quad-core, and it is phenomenally fast.
I'm gonna have to take a look at their authoring system. I didn't know they made one. This is new. Their DVD Author 3. It supports DivX authoring.
Yep, and it's a nice compromise too, because it has a bunch of ready-made menus. So if you don't want to spend your whole life creating menus, you just, for example, want to take a TV series.
It sounds like exactly what John wants to do, which is get those hockey games on there. You don't want to spend a lot of time making it look fancy,
exactly.
right, John?
And all you want to then be able to do is to select which one you want to watch.
Right.
Yeah,
so
great.
This has a trial version you can download for free to try it. If you want to buy it, it is $90 US. Now the issue, John, is also how do I get those mini DVDs into a big DVD, and you're going to have to rip those mini DVDs. This is one of the things I don't like about DVD camcorders, is you've now recorded on this kind of format. You're kind of stuck with this format, right? It's great if you don't have a computer. If you never plan to do anything with these videos again, but watch them, okay. But if you ever want to edit them or do what you're doing, which is combine them, now you've got to rip them, take them off the mini DVD, put them on the hard drive, re-encode them using something like Tsunami MPEG encoder, and re-author it. And that's an extra step that you wouldn't have if you just recorded to tape. So that's kind of a negative about that. Does that all make sense, John?
Yeah, that makes sense, because the issue I had earlier is I need the one DVD right after the game to give to the coaching staff.
That's perfect. So now you got that mini DVD. Yeah.
So I hand them that, but I can't.
That makes sense.
I rip it to my hard drive.
You're already ripping it then. That's perfect.
Yeah, but I didn't know what format to put it in once I got it into the computer.
Well, it's already on MPEG 2. I would actually look at the TMPG encoder, and it'll take AVI, it'll take any format. What do you recommend he use?
Well,
it's already MPEG 2.
It's already MPEG 2, although he's going to want to recompress it. Tsunami will do batch compression, so he would be able to queue up a whole bunch. It also is able to look at the content you give it and set the compression ratio so that what you give it will fit on a disc of the size you specify. So it'll figure out.
You could tell it.
Yes, it'll figure out what compression you need in order to put however much you want on there.
Excellent. Very cool.
It turns out that recompressing MPEG 2 does not introduce as much distortion as people thought. A lot of experiments have been done. You know, the old adage
of stick with MPEG 2, then go MPEG 2 to MPEG 2, rather than make it an AVI or an MPEG 4.
Well,
or something like that.
If his goal is a regular playable DVD, that has to be MPEG 2. That's the only thing that normal consumer machines will play.
Our question is what the intermediate format should be when he rips the mini DVDs to the hard drive, and it sounds like he should stick with MPEG 2.
He can, or he can go to AVI, although it'll probably be larger.
Right, and it's faster. He's already got an MPEG 2. Just rip it as MPEG 2.
Yep.
You're going to stay in MPEG 2.
In fact, just copy it, essentially. Just copy it.
Copy the VOB files.
Right.
Yeah, and that's all they've been doing, is copying the VOB file over.
So you can now use those VOB files with this Pegasus authoring program. It'll take those VOB files and recompress them, and then you can make that 8-hour DVD.
And it knows about importing VOBs from other DVDs.
Perfect.
So it's ready to go.
Solves the problem. Well, I think we found. I'm glad you were here, Steve. Thank you very much for the call, John.
Yep, thank you very much.
Good luck with your team. I think it's a great idea, Susie. So that's why he wants a DVD recorder. He wants to, and that's a perfect example of why you might want a DVD camcorder, so you can right away pop that in a DVD player and look at it. Jacob Tran's coming up. He's going to talk about what Flash can do with video. If you've ever seen YouTube or Google video, if you've looked at our clips on the website, you've been looking at Flash video. We'll take a look at Flash video in just a bit when the Lab with Leo continues. Welcome back to the Lab with Leo. Jacob Tran is back. It's good to see you, Jacob, from the Vancouver Film School. He teaches Flash game design.
That's right.
One thing that it's really kind of changed the Flash world. We're all used to Flash animation, but now thanks to YouTube and Google and some other sites, we're seeing a lot of Flash video as well. That was a huge shift for Flash, wasn't it?
It is a really huge shift. Yeah. There's about a 97% user base out there.
Almost everybody has Flash.
Right, and about 96.8% of that percentile can actually view Flash video files.
So that solved a big problem. For years, you had to decide what format do I put the video on the web with.
Media player, real media, QuickTime.
Big problem. And users had problems. They I have to download a plug-in. Now it just you go to YouTube, it just plays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you guys how to get it to that step. Okay. To get it onto Google and to get it onto YouTube. So if you have Flash, it comes with something called the video encoder, and this basically converts a plethora of video formats into the FLV format.
Now, I want to mention that in video, in YouTube and Google, you just upload it to them, and that's basically they run it through this on their end.
That's right.
But so this is if you wanted to embed it on your site to create a Flash video out of your own videos, you would use the FLV. Encoding. Now, you have to have Flash to use this?
You have to have Flash to use this. So once you have your video file, there's a lot of options. There's two video codecs that the Flash video encoder uses. The first is onto VP6.
Okay.
And you use this video codec if you're not doing web video. If you need high quality video, for example, presentation kiosks.
Bigger file sizes.
Games.
But better quality for the better quality. File size. Okay. Right. And so, Sorensen would be for web-based. And that's why when you look at YouTube, the video doesn't look great.
It doesn't look that great.
It's highly compressed.
Highly compressed. So another really neat feature about the Onto VP6 codec is that it allows alpha channels. So you can have video green screen or chroma keyed, and you can knock out the background.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So of course, like you mentioned, you would use Sorensen Spark if you're going for web video.
Okay.
So once you have your video encoded, you can go into Flash and you can drag in from their component list here something called the FLV playback component.
So this is a pre-built component just for this.
It's totally pre-built, and the beauty of it is that you can choose from a number of skins for your playback controls.
Some of them you'll no doubt recognize as being something you'd see on other websites. Look at all this, yeah.
So it could be underneath the player. It could hide after a certain amount of time.
So you can really make this look like YouTube without the YouTube ad.
Exactly. So the last step is inside that parameter list, you would not only choose a skin, but you'd also choose a source.
You gotta have a movie.
Yeah, right, and that source points to the FLV file that I've just encoded.
So that's the movie file you encoded, is the FLV file.
Right. So once I'm done that, I publish out my Flash movie and I load it onto my web server, and you can have something like this. My previous appearance with
that looks really good.
Yeah.
So that looks so much better than YouTube, and that's because you're using this on what is it, on 26?
Onto VP6.
Onto VP6 encoder.
Right.
This is your last segment.
Yeah.
That's really great.
So
now you could put it in a kiosk, you put it in a presentation. You've got it as a file that anything that can read Flash can read.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm just going to show another example here where the Onto VP6 codec actually knocked out the background.
Yeah. How do you do that?
So
is it a switch or?
Yeah. There's you can do it from within the Flash 8 video encoder I showed earlier. You just have to check off that box that says.
And how do you tell it what color to key out? Do you use a dropper or?
No, as long as it's the standard blue or green screen.
So it knows to look for a standard screen.
Exactly. So let's.
And by the way, you can buy paint if you wanted to do this for a production. You can buy the standard green or blue paint. And you paint it on a piece of board, and you've got it.
Exactly. Yeah. So here's an example here where you can choose
You do this with your students? Oh, look at this.
Yeah, what setting this guy's sitting in.
That is so funny.
So he can be in his living room, in a waiting room, or
and now, because this is Flash, this could be part of an interactive, you just did it, an interactive video.
You said it. So you could do like a choose your own adventure, or whatever it may be. So this is demonstrating the transparency feature of Flash.
Now that's really powerful. It means suddenly Flash can be used, as it has been for vector graphics, drawn stuff, but it can be used for video the same way.
A lot of websites now are having motion graphics pieces behind the video and on top of the video as well. So it's sort of a 360-degree.
It's kind of depressing for a little guy like me who has a cheap old website, because there's no way I could do all this great stuff. I have to go along and find one of your students maybe and get somebody to do this for me. Yeah.
So another thing I want to talk about is the difference between hosted streaming and progressive download. So YouTube and Google, what they do is they actually utilize this idea of progressive download.
That's that buffering you see.
Right, it'll download just enough so that you can play without downloading the whole file, and as you're watching it, it'll continue to download.
If you're lucky, it doesn't stop in the middle, right?
Yeah, connection's fast enough.
That's the negative of progressive downloads.
Right. And so the other example is hosted streaming, and a site like StickCam, which you guys use on your website, uses this idea of trying to maintain a real-time connection between the client and server. And it'll actually do something where it decreases the quality of video to try to maintain that real-time connection.
Right.
And all this stuff is
pretty amazing. It works surprisingly well.
Yeah, and all this stuff is available for you within Flash. There's something called the Flash Media Server software, which lets you do a combination of the two, or strictly hosted streaming. Or
I'm going to let Ustream pay for my bandwidth. I don't want to have to do it myself. Yes, there's Ustream.tv, there's Stickem.com. There's a number of sites that are doing this, where you can create your own stream, and all you need is a built-in webcam or a camera, and Flash does all the work for you.
Can we do one more thing?
All right, why not?
All right, so here I brought my webcam.
Hello.
And within Flash, you can actually access your webcam. Like
that can be a source?
Right? Yep. Wow. Just like, that's how StickCam works, actually. And this site's really neat. It's called Webcamtastic. And what we can do is we can actually morph your face. We can...
I'll get in the light here. Yeah, get that light out of the way. There we go.
All right, so we can give you a sort of a Jay Leno chin, let's say.
You don't need to work too hard on that.
Give you a nose job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can really do the video. And,
but the thing is, it's still live.
Yeah, and it's still live, or you can take a snapshot, and once you're happy with it, you can uploed it and other people can view it in the gallery.
This is webcamtastic.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to play with that. Look at that. I am not an animal. We'll be back with more of the Lab. Jacob Tran's available at the Vancouver Film School. Look what he did for me. Wow, I'm terrifying myself right now. Thank you, Jacob Tran. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right, now it's time to play. Let's play our What the Heck Is It contest. This is a close-up, undistorted close-up of something you might find somewhere around the lab. It's a folder button. Of course it is. What could that be? Think about it. We'll talk about it when the Lab with Leo continues. Welcome back to the lab. This is a close-up Sean took around the lab. What is it? Let's zoom out and find out. Oh, wow, that's the radio CD. Is that the one that plays internet radio too? I think it is, yeah. No, not that one, just CDs. Folder, huh? I didn't know it had a folder button. Wow. Well, I hope you got that right. I'm 0 for nothing. 0 for 100. 100 shows, I've only got 2 right. It's good. You're doing well. Thank you, Sean Carruthers. Let's get another caller on the air here. Kate Abraham, what do you have?
We have Terry from Kensington in the beautiful Prince Edward Island.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Terry, how are you? How's the weather on the island right now? Terry?
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. How's the weather on the island?
Great. A little chilly, but pretty good. Windy.
Oh, all right. Well, winter is coming, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah.
What can I do for you?
Well, actually, I have a question about wireless technology.
Okay.
I've been reading and hearing about people accessing their neighbor's internet using wireless technology, and I just kind of wondering if somebody's tapping into my internet, what's the risk to me? Will it slow down my connection? How can I prevent that?
It's a great question. So if you think about it, when you have a Wi-Fi access point, one of those Linksys or Netgears or maybe an Apple Airport, you're broadcasting, right? Now that's great because if you have a laptop with a receiver in it, you can broadcast right back. You get your internet floating through the air. Wow, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
But of course, if it's floating through the air, it means somebody else can also catch it. So there are 2 kind of distinct risks with having an open access point. One is that your data is being sent back and forth pretty much in the clear. That means somebody can sit on the curb in front of your house and watch it. See what you're doing. Now, if you're online with your bank, you know that's encrypted. If you're online, buying something, that's encrypted. But there are a few things that aren't encrypted. Your email may not be encrypted. That means they could read it. Worse, they might be able to catch your password as it floats through the air and then go home and be able to read your email forever after until you change your password again. That, to me, is a very scary prospect. Yeah. So they can see, that's risk number one. They can see what you're doing. It also allows them to log into your network. Mm-hmm. And that might, in the long run, be even a greater risk. It means they have access to, it's as if, they came into your house, plugged in a laptop to your network, and they're there with you. So they can see any file shares you have open. They can access systems if they're not adequately protected. They can hack you. They can put stuff on there. So those are the two great risks. Steve, did I miss? Steve Gibson's here, fortunately, because he's the security guru. Did I miss anything on that?
I think you got it absolutely covered.
Yeah, those are the two. Right. Now, the good news is, and Steve's taught me this, there are literally 5 or 6 ways people use to protect themselves in a network access point, a Wi-Fi access point. The truth is, of all of those ways, turning off broadcast ID, filtering MAC addresses, using web encryption, only one works, and only one is necessary. It turns out to be all you need to do, and that is something called WPA encryption. Most recent model in the last 2 or 3 year Wi-Fi access points support it. Most notebooks, if they're recent, will support it as well. Once you turn on WPA, it adds a little bit of complexity, and this is one of the reasons that it's not turned on by default. What you'll have to do is enter in a password on your access point and say, this is the WPA password. And then the first time, and only the first time you log into that access point, you'll have to enter it onto on your all desktops. But what it means is now suddenly all the traffic between you and your access point is scrambled. It can't be read. It also means that if anybody wants to join your network, they need to know the password. Right. Choose a good password, and you're as secure as can be. You're really protected.
Okay.
It's probably worth emphasizing that one point, because the sole weakness in WPA is the vulnerability to what's called an offline attack, where someone could capture his traffic and then crack the password just by guessing. So it's important not to use a simple password, not his name, not his pet's name, not something in a dictionary. Mm-hmm. Use some mumbo jumbo, scrambled letters and numbers, something he can remember, but that won't be guessable, because that's the only weakness in WPA. Yeah. If you have a strong password, you're safe.
If if your password was password, a hacker could guess it, could use what's called a brute force attack. Now, if you're really want to be secure, you can use Steve's passwords page. He actually, because he's just fanatical about security, if you go to grc.com/password, he'll show you perfect passwords. These are as good as you can get. They're also completely unmemorable. But you remember, you can write it down. You can put it on a post-it note. You only have to enter it in once. I don't know if you need to go to this degree of security. These are really obscure, but they work. They get the job done.
Okay.
All right. So.
And what's the easiest way to make that change?
You just log into your router.
Right.
So depending on your router, there's different ways to do this. The newer Linksys routers, you just go to a web page. I can't remember what it is, but they have a web page that.
192.1.
No. It's like routerconfig.com, and the router will automatically enter 192.1.6. I can't remember what it is, but it's in your manual. You go into the router page, and on the front page, it may not say specifically WPA, but it will say something like turn on encryption. Mm-hmm. And when you have a choice, there'll be WEP, there'll be WPA PSK, there'll be WPA TKIP. All you need to do is WPA PSK, right? That's all you need to do. That's the one you want to choose. If you only have one choice, that's the choice. And that's it. It'll say, what's the password? You say what the password is. The next time you have to get on from your laptop, it'll say, what's the password? You enter the password. You'll never have to enter it again. It'll be remembered. And from then on, you're secure. I'm glad you asked, because this is such a simple thing to do, and yet so few people, fewer than half of all routers are protected in any way. Almost everybody, at least the majority of people, just turn it on and say, boop, that's it, come on, it works, and they don't touch it. And you asked the right question, what's the risk of doing that? Thank you so much for asking that question. Thank you, Steve, for your help with that. It's good we have Steve here. Now it's time for one of Sean's shinies. You look like a meter reader. You look like the guy who just came back to my house and is reading the meter. What are you doing there with that thing? What is this?
You've been parked too long on that question, so I'm printing you a ticket.
It looks like it.
No, actually, what this is called the Smart Shopper, and it's a little gadget that you stick on your fridge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what would I do with it once it's on my fridge?
Well,
do I talk to it?
You talk to it. So you have a list in here that you create by pressing record and saying, carrots. And it finds carrots.
It says carrots.
Yeah, it says carrots. So then you would select it, and now carrots are on your list.
So it just, now, do you take this to the store with you when you shop?
Beets. There we go. So we
not dates, not beans, but beets. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll give you a couple
press
choices.
it again. Bengay. Yeah, no Bengay. Yeah.
So
could have been Zantac.
It's already in the list. We had already ordered some Bengay here. We left this on the fridge in the kitchen.
You got Bengay bourbon and buckets. I don't know what buckets are.
Well, you need bucket after the bourbon.
So this is a pretty complete list of stuff on there?
There's a lot of stuff. It doesn't have brand names in here, but it does have a fairly big list.
What are butter buds? Or should I not ask?
I have no clue.
Okay. But now, what do I do when I need to go to the store?
Press print. And it prints out the
look
list.
It's printing it out.
And not only does it print this list out, it actually tells you what aisle all of these things are in.
How does it know what aisle?
Well, it sort of groups it into sort of...
Oh, yeah, I see. Dairy, packaged meat.
It doesn't tell you which...
You know what? This is great. Now, here's the bad side. Well, let's do the pros first, then we'll do the cons. This is Sean's Shiny of the Week, or it's Smart Shopper from Smart Shopper Electronics. You see the negative right there. It's $150.
$150. But yeah, the voice recognition we found is pretty good, with one exception, which we'll get to. You can add items into the list if they're not already there. I added Leo's lozenges.
Leo's lozenges?
Sean's Shinies.
Oh, good.
And I tried adding Yule's Jewels. Didn't get that.
Nobody does.
And it prints the list when you're done. This is a nice long list.
No kidding.
It is a bit pricey.
Yeah.
Kate couldn't use this very well.
No English need apply.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you can train it if you have the time.
And it doesn't know brand names.
Right. And it doesn't know brand names
Which
by
is a
default.
surprise, frankly.
And one other thing I didn't put on the list here is you have to replace this paper every so often, which is going to be
Is it expensive?
It's probably not that expensive.
Look at that. That's really cool.
You go through a lot of it, obviously.
I'm giving this to my wife for her birthday.
There you go.
You don't think Kate goes, oof, not a good idea?
Not a good idea.
I'm listening to Kate.
Who ordered a poncho?
Poncho? Wow. That's in the household section.
There's a lot of stuff in this.
There's also Smart Shopper on this. I guess it's on our list. Coming up, we're going to talk about blogging. Is it different for women than for men? We'll find out. Victoria Rivet joins us. You stay right here. Ooh, before we go anywhere, though, I do want to give you one more chance to take our quick quiz question of the day. Here it is. What is Seagate's street address in Scotts Valley, California? I actually know Scotts Valley very well, and I don't know its street address. Is it 1 Seagate Way, 100 Seagate Boulevard, 15,200 Scotts Valley Parkway, or 920 Disk Drive? Go to the website, give us the answer, and we'll talk about it when the Lab with Leo continues. Welcome back to the Lab with Leo. Leo Laporte here. Victoria Rivet is back. Welcome back. She is the Sweet Spotter for sweetspot.ca, which is a great mailing list of all sorts of cool stuff. Also a Vancouver columnist, so if you're looking for stuff to do in Vancouver, she's the one. A backup singer and blues singer in her own right for the Canadian recording artist Nazanin.
Yes.
Wow. And a blogger. Do you have your own blog?
I do.
Yeah. Is that on nowpublic.org.com?
It's connected through there as well, but it's also just on a blogger.
Oh, cool. And what do you write about in your blog?
Just Another Day.
Just Another Day.
Just Another Day in... I wrote about being on your show.
Well, that's good.
Everything. It's pretty much sort of a general, whatever interests me.
How many blogs are there now? There's millions of blogs
I
out
would
there.
Think millions.
Hundreds of millions.
Possibly.
Everybody's got a blog. I think I have 4 blogs. I've got blogs I've forgotten about.
Sure.
I've just kind of stopped posting too. So how do you? Is it different, you think, for women in media online than it is for men in online media?
Actually, I don't. Not really. I mean, we can write as ourselves, or we could also write under a pseudonym, I guess.
Right.
But I find that the sort of online blogging community for women is much more supportive, maybe.
Yes, I agree.
And there's just more niche markets where you could join and express how you feel. And
I do a parenting podcast with a woman who does a mommy blog, and that's one kind of blog. They're daddy blogs and mommy blogs where you write about parenting and your kids and stuff. And it is there's a lot of bloggers writing about parenting, writing about their everyday experiences.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was just at Blogger, which it was a huge conference.
Just for women.
Just for women.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a few men there, obviously, but there was about 800 women, and it was all women bloggers, and there were mommy bloggers and food bloggers and fashion bloggers and book review bloggers. So there's definitely this huge expanding community.
So how do you get? I mean, look, there are so many blogs. It's got to be very difficult to get attention, to get people to read your blog. And I know one of the things I hear from people is, I started a blog, but nobody's reading it. How do you get people to read your blog?
Well, this was actually one focus of the conference. I mean, you can obviously optimize your blog so search engines pick it up a little bit more easily, so tagging and whatnot. But it was really just about writing about something interesting. So it was content, also how frequently you write. So they recommend that you post maybe 4 comments a day.
Really? That often?
Yeah, absolutely.
How often do you post to your blog?
I post probably between 8 to 10 stories a day.
You do?
I do, but this one runs through nowpublic.com.
But that must take a lot of your time.
Well, I work 12 hours a day. So it is a full-time job, and that was the interesting thing, is that a lot of these women wanted to make it a full-time job and wanted to make money with it. So that was an interesting aspect that
that's it. So they're not seeing it as a hobby. They're seeing it as something that they could perhaps pursue as a career.
Absolutely, yeah. Hobby turning into a career.
And how hard is that to do?
I mean, personally, I don't rely on my blog to make me a bunch of money, but there were women there that did, and I think it was it's difficult, but if it works, it works. And that was the message.
A blog doesn't just have to be text either. You can do video. A lot of people are doing video and audio, podcasts, vlogs.
Yeah, vlogging, which is video blogging, podcasting. We work with a girl named The Resident, who started just vlogging and put her stuff on YouTube, and now she's a correspondent for CNN for a new media segment. So, I mean, it took her years, but it can actually happen.
Don't give up. It's probably another rule, because it does take a while to build an audience, and you've got to be consistent, and it might be a little discouraging and daunting when you're writing that much, you're working that hard, and nobody's reading you. But if you give up, nobody's definitely going to ever read.
Well, I think most of these blogs start out of your passion, so you're writing about things that you're interested in. So most of these people don't give up.
You do it because you love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even if only 5 people read it.
Yeah.
How do you come down on the side of commenting? Should you have comments in your blog or not?
I have commenting. And,
it's harder, I think, for women to allow comments, because you tend to get, you might get comments of style that you don't really want. You might get harassed, basically, on your blog.
Sure.
This was a big problem lately. A very well-known female blogger was, in fact, nastily harassed online.
Well, I think that can sort of happen anywhere. You don't have to be online for that to happen.
So allow the comments.
I mean, I think it's depending on what you're trying to achieve, or what kind of feedback you're trying to get from your website. I'm not sure. I think it's really subjective and personal. I would appreciate the comments, just the feedback, to see what people think about what I'm writing.
But a lot of people say that's their reward. It's not the money, it's the comments. It's just knowing that somebody's read it and has something to say about what you're writing.
And you're also engaging. It's an audience that you're writing for, so you're engaging the audience, and you're also maybe getting feedback from what they're looking for, and maybe what you could improve, or they can also give you tips and link back to other things that you can use.
Recently, a number of prominent male bloggers, I might add, have said, I don't think you should do comments. If somebody wants to say something, they should write about it in their own blog. That improves the quality of the commenting. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think you're right. You're building a community, aren't you? You're trying to get a group of people who are part of your community to speak up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with Now Public, we encourage comments, and some of our most widely read stories have over 150 comments on them. So it creates this thread and this movement, and I think that's important.
That's one of the things that new media is very distinguished with new media from old media, is that it is a conversation instead of a monologue.
Absolutely, and that's what the comments do.
What's your blog address again?
Just another day in.
Just another day in the life of Victoria Rivet is what it is. You can read her at Sweet Spotter. That's she is a Sweet Spotter for sweetspot.ca, recommending restaurants, salons, places to choose. Cute shoes, places to get them in Vancouver and around the world. She's also a online video presenter for nowpublic.com, and I could go on and on. She's done so much more. I can't wait to see you sing though with Nazanin. I think that's going to be fun. You have to tell us when your next gig is. More of your calls coming up in just a little bit. The Lab with Leo continues, our 100th episode. You stay right here.
Vodka. Cheese. See, this one is, it doesn't work for me, so I'm going to have to use a completely different item because this one is it's not made for people with funny accents like me. Welcome back to the Lab with Leo. I am Kate Abraham with the funny accent, and I'm going to show you a Firefox add-on which basically makes this completely redundant. Thankfully. This is
it's cheaper too.
Exactly. This is the grocery list generator. Very simple to use. Basically, all you need to do is go through the vegetables you have to add to your shopping list, the meats. You can add new items if you need to. You can add new dishes. So effectively, if you're making a dish every night of the week, you haven't got to go through and select the items individually. It's very, very simple to use. As you can see, I can make leek and smoked sausage stew.
That sounds very
lovely.
British. Yes.
Let's add that to the list.
All right.
And then at the end of it, all you need to do is literally click on the generate list. And as you can see, I need to buy carrots and English bangers, and I can print this. And it's that simple, and it doesn't cost $150.
That's good, but you have to use Facebook to use it. You can't.
Firefox.
Firefox. I'm
Yes.
sorry. You can't glue it to your refrigerator.
No, you can't.
Unless
but
you have
I mean, the cool thing is what you can do is you can actually build up, like if you do recipes fairly often, you can build up like a database.
That I like, yeah.
And it doesn't matter how you pronounce the word tuna.
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 But you say cheese just like we say cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, I didn't hear the cheese part. Cheese. I want some cheese, please.
But for more add-ons, go to addons.mozilla.org.
Sound like Wallace and Gromit.
Cheese.
Cheese.
That's a northern thing.
Give me some cheese. Do you have a caller for me, Kate?
I do. Fingers crossed. I have Tim from Sydney in New South Wales. Had a few connection issues, but fingers crossed.
All right. Let's cross our fingers.
Yes.
Hello, Tim. Are you there?
Hi, Leo.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here, cheese and all.
Cheese and all. What can I do for you, sir?
Well, I have have to send some documents for a job interview, sometimes overseas, and this means that it includes some sort of proprietary type information, like information I've researched.
Okay.
And I want the interviewer, the people on the interview panel, to read it, but I don't want them to hold on to it too long, especially if I don't get the job.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have something like a document that has like a time delay on it, so that it sort of expires after a certain period of time.
You know, this is something that Microsoft has kind of promised. We talked to Steve and I did a few shows back about TPM, and this is the kind of hardware that would be required. Microsoft talked quite a bit about the idea of revocable documents, where you could give somebody a document, they couldn't pass it on, only they could read it, and after a certain date, the document would no longer be legible. This has not yet been implemented, as far as I know, partly because of all the uproar, the privacy issues and so forth that were raised by this TPM and Palladium, which was Microsoft's version of TPM. So they backed down. Here's the real problem, I got to tell you, Tim, is that you can, protect your document, you can put DRM, but there's always going to be, if somebody wants to steal it, if they can display it on a screen, they can steal it, because they just take a picture of the screen, and you can't stop them. You can't stop them from doing that, or they take a screenshot. So you can make, you're going to have to kind of trust these guys, I guess is what I'm saying. There's no way that I know of that you can totally prevent them from copying it once you give them the document. Anybody can take a picture of the screen, and there's no technology around that can prevent that. Now, of course, you can do a little bit to protect it. You can send them a password-protected document, a password-protected Word document, or a password-protected PDF. although, I just did a search for protected PDF, and the very first probably 20 entries are how to crack a protected PDF. So this is the real problem. Now, I wasn't searching for cracking protected PDFs. I was searching for protected PDFs. And how to crack, how to unprotect. Before you actually get to how to make a protected PDF, you've got to go through about 10 entries on how to crack it. So clearly there's an issue here. It's not possible to create something that is completely secure, as you suggest. I think you're just going to have to trust these interviewers. You can put a post on it that says, please, don't pass this along. It's just protected. Put a copyright on it. But there's no technological solution. Now, before I write your idea off completely, let's ask Steve Gibson, because he's the security guru. There's no way you can keep somebody from taking a picture on their screen. Is there a way you can revoke the document?
No, you're exactly right, Leo. It's like the problem that we faced, the movie industry faced when they wanted to protect movies, is you could protect it all the way from the disc all the way through the system to the screen.
But as soon as it's on the screen,
the screen to the eyeball, there's nothing you can do.
They call this the analog hole.
And people have, for example, printed on red paper with darker red type because it'll Xerox all black, and so you're not able to Xerox copy. But as you say, if you take a picture of it,
you're out of luck.
You've got it.
So I sympathize, Tim, but I'm afraid there is no good answer for that. You just have to trust him. Sorry.
It's come to that.
Yep, it's tough. It's hard cheese, as they say. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. Steve Gibson, as you can see, is here. We're going to talk about security in Windows, something they call user access control, something nobody likes. Is it something you need to live with? We'll find out when the lab continues. But first, one more chance to take our quick quiz question of the day. How you doing on this one? Are you working on it? What is Seagate's street address? Have you opened your sat-nav or your GPS? In Scotts Valley, is it 1 Seagate Way, 100 Seagate Boulevard, 15200 Scotts Valley Boulevard, or 920 Disk Drive? Think about it. We'll talk about it when the Lab with Leo continues. Welcome back to the Lab with Leo. Steve should know this. He's a hard drive expert. What is Seagate's street address in Scotts Valley, California?
I don't ever send them back. I just fix them.
920 Disk Drive. Isn't that great?
I love that
name, Disk Drive. I hope you got that right. Scotts Valley is a beautiful place.
It is.
Went to high school near there in Santa Cruz. So we're going to talk about something. Steve Gibson's here from GRC.com, security guru. He co-hosts the Security Now podcast with me. And, of course, is a creator of SpinRite, everybody's favorite disk recovery maintenance utility. And we've talked about security for years now. Vista is the first version of Windows that directly addresses these issues.
Yes, Microsoft, after years of having their head buried in the sand, really decided, okay, we're gonna acknowledge the fact that Windows has a horrible security track record and reputation. We're gonna do everything we can to fix that in Vista. The problem is that in order to tighten things up, they have to constrain programs from doing pretty much anything they want to do.
That's the problem.
Because malware, rootkits, viruses, spyware can do pretty much, it has always been able to historically do pretty much anything it wants to do.
So you got to lock them down.
Yeah, exactly. And so Microsoft said, okay, we want to tighten things down. Well, when they tried to do that in the lab, not this lab, but theirs, nothing worked.
Right.
It just broke every...
Software assumes that you can do anything it wants.
Because it always could. Exactly. So what Microsoft did was they said, okay, we're gonna move the bar forward, up, down, whatever direction
as best we can.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So what they decided to do is they created this thing called UAC, which actually is user account control.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was access control.
Sort of. Well, that's effectively what it is.
Right.
It used to be that when you logged in as an administrator, you had godlike rights. You could do anything. When you logged in as a normal user, you couldn't do things.
Right.
And so there was this problem of having to go back and forth. Now what Vista does is when you log in as an administrator or a normal user, you actually have a pair of logons. You get two. You get an administrator right logon and a normal user logon.
Okay.
And normally you're running under the normal user logon. So
Even if you're an administrator.
even if you're an administrator, you are still have neutered rights.
That's a good thing.
Because Microsoft is trying to protect you.
Right.
Then when the software you're running tries to do something that is prohibited, it used to be that it would just fail.
Right.
It just wouldn't work.
Right.
Okay, now you get this dialog box which annoys everybody.
Windows puts up a big stop sign and says, hold on, we got to get permission.
Darkens the screen,
Yep.
puts up this nice little rounded corner thing that says, is this you trying to do this?
Right.
Which bugs people because it's like, who else would it be?
Well,
it could be
a
malware.
virus. It could be somebody
It could be a
bad.
rootkit. It
Right.
could be something you're not expecting.
Right.
And what this does is this gives Windows permission to switch over temporarily to the other logon credential, the godlike administrator credential, to do whatever it was that would otherwise have been blocked.
Now, if you're not running as administrator, you'll need to enter administrator password at that
To
point.
prove that you have the right to do this.
Right.
Even as you said, even an admin will get the pop-up.
You just can click yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I wanted to explain to people is, annoying as this is, and you can turn this off if you are confident that you're not going to have stuff crawling around in your machine. But the point is, annoying as this is, it really is serving a function. It is protecting you. And see, in the old days, you had to log off and log back on as an administrator, then log back off and back on as a standard user.
Right.
Well, this makes that transition much more seamless and transparent, but you still have to say, yes, I'm aware that I'm doing something that needs extra power. Let me have it for a minute. Then the app will proceed. It will succeed in that rather than just failing.
As you've said many times, there's a trade-off between convenience and security.
Yes.
Yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's inconvenient. But it's the only way of making Windows more secure. Do you recommend leaving it on?
For most users, absolutely. And the theory is that after you're through setting things up and installing things, because it's sort of an installation time deal,
most of the time it doesn't bug you.
it ought to kind of quiet down after your system stabilizes. And you shouldn't see it that often, which means if you do see it doing something like you were doing yesterday and you didn't see it, it's like, ooh, what's going on?
That's the downfall of all of these, though. There's a certain amount of numbness that occurs, and pretty soon people just go, yes, 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 and then it has no value whatsoever. That's the downside of systems like this.
And the bad news is there just isn't a way around it. We're trying to make Windows more secure, but we're coming from a mode where it just did anything for you.
Constantly been Microsoft's problem.
Too insecure.
Is maintaining compatibility with older software, but they've got to do it. They've got to do it.
UAC.
You explain it so well. Yeah. Steve Gibson, grc.com. He'll be back on another show because we just love his stuff. Find out more and get some great free software for security at grc.com. All right, final word coming up right after this. Stay right here. We're having so much fun ordering cheese. There's no cheese in there, but this is fun. I like this. This is a very cool tea bags. Yeah. You know, they put Sean Shinies under candy. Did you do that, Sean, or did that do it automatically? If this were $49.95, they'd sell a million of them.
It's just
$150. That's too pricey. Such a good idea. We've been having fun playing with all the shinies here on the show. I hope you've learned something about technology, and I hope you'll tell your friends and come back soon. If you want to be on the show, really, your calls, your questions are what drives this whole program. Just call Kate. I'll give you her home number. We'll just put it. No.
Any time of the day or night.
She's a nice girl, but we won't make her do that. You go to the website. That way she can handle it during business hours. That's thelabwithleo.com. Fill out the form, and if we get a lot of questions, and I should say we can't answer questions personally, but if we select your question for use on the air, then Kate will call you and we'll get you on the show. We're so glad you were here. Please come back. I'm Leo Laporte, Kate Abraham, Sean Carruthers, Steve Gibson. We thank you for being here. We'll see you next time on The Lab. Matt Harris.